Hi once again everyone, my name is John and welcome to the next Java tutorial. Wait a second, my name is not John. I hate you, Corey. I think it's Corey and you, Ryan, that have gotten me into this. Alright, anyway, my name is Alex, not John. My name is Alex and welcome to my next Java tutorial. And in this tutorial we're gonna talk some more about, we're actually gonna do some simple, first of all we're gonna make some simple image pathing, no, enemy pathing, so that enemies can basically walk on a little pathway here, like do 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 do, and then they just walk out here, and we will start losing health. But first of all, I actually want to make myself health and money, and then we'll have like a shop. Yeah, we've got the shop right here. Maybe we should have health here and money here. Yeah, I think that sounds legit. But for this, I basically want to make two images. Even before that, I actually want to make them so that I can actually see them. Now, I know that I got some more classes here somewhere. Yeah, I got some more classes. And we're gonna start up the room. Actually, I just want to go out here and start up the classes, so we have them in our menu. And you might notice that I'm on my laptop now, or on my computer now, or PC, my best computer. Just because of the graphics, for example. I've dragged them down to lowest on my other computer just to be able to do some extra stuff. Never mind. No, just to remove some of the lag. It's still Windows 7. This is also Windows 7, even if I've made the icons to actually look like a Windows XP, just because or Windows Vista XP, whatever. Anyway, we should just continue the Java tutorial. Alright, so then the first thing we basically want to do then, in order to add basically small icons, one for money and one for life. We want two rectangles. Want one public, this is for the images, public rectangle button health equals new rectangle. I'm actually going to take that in a second. Also going to have a public rectangle for the coins. So we got one rectangle for the health and one for the coins. And here's what we're going to do with it. For the button health, we're going to do this. We're going to do new rectangle, and we're going to put this on the screen dot room dot block dot block. Yeah, that's this block. I want to put it on the 0 dot x -1, since we got a little border as well. We also want to do this, we basically want to take this to the screen. Actually, we're going to go with button I dot y, button 0 dot y. No, wait a second. Yeah, button 0 dot y. Wait. This is confusing. Alright, yeah, that seems good. And then we need to prefer a size for it. So we're just going to create this called public static int, and we're going to call this the buttons. No, it actually icon size. And we're going to set it like 20 or so. So icon size times icon size, and what this is going to give us is basically we've just defined the rectangle for the health, and we're just going to draw it out, and you'll see what it does, because now once you've learned how to draw stuff on the screen, you should be able to do this as well. G.fill rect button health x, and we can just copy this just because I'm lazy. So we're just gonna go in here like that. This is the end, just put the semicolon, of course. And then we just run it. So this is our result of this, actually. I think it looks pretty good, actually. So we're just gonna make another one of these, and now we want this to be at the bottom of this one. Basically, whoa, at the bottom of this bar. Now this is not going to light up later. There's going to be an image there, so it's basically not going to be like that. Basically, it's going to go in right here, and it's going to go around here. So in order to do that, we're just going to use the same code, but instead of the Y, we're going to do plus button 0 dot height, and we're gonna do minus icon size. I'm just gonna log on onto my laptop because I'm gonna have. God damn it! Never mind. Didn't say that. All right, there we go. Okay, so what this is gonna do, hopefully, is to draw out this on the right position, and it shouldn't be like that. I just epically failed. So this should draw it out at the bottom of that. This should be the button coins. And that means it should be right there. Is that really? Yeah, I think it is actually. Trying to get the view. Anyway, alright, so now let's just make two images, one for the coins and one for the health. And these are going to be 10 by 10 since we're doing a 2 times 2 pixel game. Basically means, again, each pixel is 4 pixels. And that means we're going to do half the size of everything. Now this is going to be for both of them, just going to leave it untitled. And I'm going to zoom in as the first thing I do and change to a coiny color. Now, I don't know if this is good. Yeah, something like that, I guess. I'm just gonna go like this. Alright, let's see. They want some lighter colors for the center of it. And maybe an even lighter color up here to get this little extra style. Alright, there we go. Kinda like that. And I'm just like sitting here making images again. Let's go for that. Alright. And just gonna go for a little darker color, darkish color for the edges. Alright, so this is a coin. We're gonna save this as a coin. Save. What rest folder is this? This is in Dropbox for me, and this should be in the C drive or on the desktop for you. You're just gonna locate your folder again where you saved stuff the first time, your res folder. So we're just gonna save this as coin.png. So basically coin.png, and we're saving it. And now we need a heart as well. And then we can start. Now we can continue the tutorial of awesomeness. Hopefully, we're just saving that. All right, saved. Just gonna remove this coin, and we're gonna do a heart instead. Now I know that the coin, I just got a new idea for the coin, but I'm not gonna edit it because I'm lazy. Lazy like that. I believe that was my Skype. Yeah, you were correct. Oh my god. Right. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Girls, here I come with my strange looking heart. Girls? Yeah. Hope you guys are girls. Hope you guys are girls. Oh my god. I'm just gonna do this little extra styling to it, then save it as well, like PNG, and then heart.png. Alright, so that was the next thing. I'm just gonna run straight into the code and import the images. And the way you import an image, you should know that as well. If you feel that I'm not really explaining anything right now, it's because I've already told you these things. But should add the tileset res. That's where we should add these. So tileset underscore res1 equals new image icon import the heart.png.get image tileset underscore res 2 equals new image icon res, and we got coin.png. Alright, we got the two different things. Maybe enemies drop coins and you have to click them to pick them up. No, it would just be too hard for you guys in the beginning. Alright, anyway, so let's jump over to the store again. Now in the store we can actually attach images onto them. Let's just change this and do screen dot tileset res 1 we can just copy this as well to make it easier. There we go. Alright, let's just run it. And now you should have a coin and a heart here. Now we want, after these two things, we basically wanted to say like how much health we've got and how much coins we've got. Now you might ask yourself, but how would I fix this? Like, yeah, might be a little bit hard in the beginning. So this is where the fun part actually starts. In order to see the health and the coins, we actually want to have kind of counting variables for them, or counting integers. And that we're actually going to start right off with creating a public static int, and we're going to call it, this is in the screen class by the way, so that we can call it from other places. Just like this, like a main class is like everything is attached onto this class. So let's call it money actually. Coinage. And you can start out with maybe 100 coins. 10 coins. And you'll start off with, in health, you'll start off with 100 in health. And each time an enemy walks in, you'll lose 1 health. So once that is done, we can jump over to the store again. And we can, next to these things, we can do g dot. Now we haven't set a new font yet, but you can actually change your font by just typing set font, g.set font. And we're just gonna go with a new font, and then you can type in your font name in here. And I'm gonna go with Courier New since I love that font, at least for these kind of games. And font.bold, that means the font is gonna be bold, and then the size of the font, which I want to be like 14 or something like that. So g.draw string, and we're gonna draw this string. I believe we need that, and then do plus. This is just gonna be here for so that we're not getting any errors. I don't really know why. I'm just doing that as an old thing. Always done that. Or actually, I started when I was getting errors from just like putting integers in here. When it asks for a string, it just gets like insane. Just no, I'm gonna commit suicide, and then my whole game crashes, and yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. So screen dot health button health dot x plus button health dot width plus public static int icon space equals 3 plus icon space. Gonna do the same thing. No, actually just that one. Alright, So what this should do now, if I'm not like incorrect, icon space, there we go. So what this should do is type out, print that out. Now that's on definitely the wrong position. It's just like lighting up when you hold your mouse over it. So we also need to change the color of this. So g.set color, new color 255, 255, 255. That's white. It's just like full RGBs. And I think we would like to put the Y a little bit down. So we're gonna do public static int icon text Y equals maybe, let's say 10. So plus icon size Y, icon text Y. Alright. That's a little bit better, but I still want like 15. Is that too much? I think that's very good actually. So we're just gonna do the same thing with the coinage. So button coins, button coins, button coins, and dot coinage. Alright, that should do that. We got the coins as well, both the coins and the health, and the icon space might actually go up to like 6 or something like that. Might be important later on. I have no idea, but that's a very good start, or that's a very good start. So now what we want to do is actually we're gonna focus on getting the enemies to actually walk through the labyrinth that we just made for them. And in order to make enemies actually go through here, first we need enemies. And now you might ask yourself, how would I make an enemy? Well, we're just gonna start right off. Go to the screen class and create a new class. Or you don't have to be in the screen class to create a new class, but anyway. We're gonna call this class enemy. Actually, we're gonna call it mob if we want any friendly mobs in this game. I don't think so, but not every day you see a tower defense game with a friendly mob, but let's just call it mob. And we're gonna import the Java AWT. And in the mob here, we're gonna extend the rectangle. Now when it extends the rectangle again, it's just like inhabits all of the rectangle's usage, or just takes in everything, all methods that is in the rectangle class, which is basically in the library, JRE library, which is like a class that Java has already set up for you already. So what the hell? This room's scaring me. I'm so sorry, you have to excuse me. Just got very frightened. Alright, let's continue. Anyway, we're gonna do public mob. And alright, we're just gonna create the constructor of this, and that's basically the mob itself. Alright. So now when we've got the mob, you might think, what to do now then? Well, the thing we're gonna do now is that we're gonna give it, actually each time we create a mob, we're just gonna set it like, we're just gonna do a little check for where the actual level starts. Anyway, in here, alright, we're just gonna create the main mob. So in order to check where the blocks actually start, where we actually have the start block, so to say, we've also got the save file to open up. It actually starts on the second, but we don't know that yet. In order to know that, we need to do a quick check with an integer y probably. Y equals 0. Y is less than screen dot room dot block, and then we're just going to go with 0 row 0 y. No, there we go. In order to get, no, actually to get the top just like that. All right. Y plus plus, and if screen dot room dot block 0 y0 actually dot or equals value dot ground road, what happens what the hell oh, ground ID, yeah, that ground ID is equal to value.ground road. What happens then is that the mob is actually going to spawn here on this block. Now we need also need to give it a public integer for the mob size. This is the size of the actual mob, and it's going to be equal to what's the block size. It's probably going to be the same as the block size. The room. Yep, 52. So that means that the mob size is going to be 52. Alright. So if this is true, then set the bounds of this rectangle where it's actually spawning, because whenever we're creating this object, we're basically letting it spawn, or letting it spawn. Actually, let's do it like this, because we don't really want it to spawn directly sometimes. So we're just gonna do a public void spawn mob. This is the spawn method for how it's spawning. So it's basically gonna spawn on this coordinate, x, and y, and mob size. Alright. It's actually gonna spawn minus 15 or minus 52 minus mob size as well, just so that you can't see it in the beginning. Alright. No, never mind. Let's just see it spawn. See it spawning. Might do some cool animation for it later on. Alright, but then to the mob size here, and or to the mob. Whenever we're defining this, probably not going to do anything, you know. So yeah, that seems good. But we also want a draw method. So public void draw graphics G. And this is just going to take, we need to create something for this actually. So we need to create an image, and 52 divided by 2 is equal to 18. No, it's not, 26. We're going to go with 26 times 26 like we did for the blocks. And on this we just want to draw some random image. So just going to go like this, and we're going to go like this and this, and just go around this like this. Alright, this is my mob. Everything in the game looks kind of cool, and then this just comes and destroys everything. There we go. Alright, so save this as mob.png maybe, mob.png, and we're actually only gonna add one mob at the moment. Then I'm gonna show you how to add multiple mobs. Probably this series is gonna be a little bit longer than expected, so instead of like 2 tutorials, for 3 tutorials, it's gonna be probably gonna be like 4, or else we're just gonna cover everything in the last tutorial. So I'm just gonna save this as mob. Just saved it as mob 1 actually, just if I would make something later. So, oh, that's my desktop. Cool. Alright. So, now what we want to do, we basically want to import the image first, just to have it. And we're going to do a public static. I might as well just do everything like, I might as well do it like, so that we can just easily add. So we can easily add new mobs at any point in time. Tiles set mob equals new image. Maybe 100 images. Let's just have one class for each mob. Just by the way, we need a new integer called mob ID equals 0 probably, and we're gonna have a value here for it. Public static int mob air equals -1. Public static int mob greeny equals 0. So it's just like we did with the terrain. Value dot mob air. It's just like we did with the terrain. So once you've added the mob ID, the mob ID, we can just draw it out basically. You're also gonna have a boolean that stops it from actually, if it's not in the game, it will be to false. So public boolean in game equals false. So if it's in game, then draw it out. G.draw image, and it's going to be drawing the screen dot mob, no, tile set mob ID, the x, y, width, and height coordinates. And again, we can use the x, y, width, and height now, just because we're extending this with a rectangle and have actually got variables called x, y, width, and height. So that's kind of cool. So now let's create some mobs. I think that's what we should do. Just gonna create one more method in here. That's actually gonna be for the physics of it. So public void physic. Alright, that's just for like walking and stuff like that. So now in the screen class we're gonna do the implementing of them, just so that we can just that we're gonna implement them like so that they can walk and stuff. So in order to do that, we're just gonna create some new objects of them. So public static mob, gonna be an array equals new mob, and then the length of this array. Now, how many mobs do we want as maximum? Should be enough with 100. So we're just gonna call this mobs, something like that. So with this, we're just gonna go down to the define method down here, and it's gonna be defined. All the mobs is gonna be defined. So for int I equals 0, I is less than mobs dot length, I plus plus, and then mobs I equals new mob, just like that. That's it. Now we got the mobs. It's basically just simple defining. We're just making a for loop, and we're defining all of the mobs in there. So now down to the paint component. Alright. At the paint component, we're just gonna draw them basically at the same level as the blocks, or just one above the blocks. And where do we have the blocks? We have the blocks right there. So for int I equals 0, I is less than mobs dot length, I plus plus, just so that we're getting the whole length via this for loop. And we're basically gonna do mobs I equals new, never mind, g dot, no, if mobs I dot in game. If they're in the game, we bother checking it. If they're not, then we don't even bother checking it. So mobs mobs I dot draw G. Alright. And also in the mob, whenever we're spawning a new mob, spawn mob, we also want to set the in-game to true. There we go. But we also want to take one integer, and the integer here is going to be for int mob ID, and this mob ID is going to be this dot mob ID, and the this dot mob ID is this mob ID. We also have a mob ID here, which we're getting from another method whenever it calls the spawn mob, but we can't really get it. We can't get it for just mob ID. Then in Java takes this by default. But if we're typing this dot mob ID, it will take this mob ID instead. So equals mob ID. So that means we can basically just, if we'd like to test this out, we can just up here do mobs I dot spawn mob, and we want to spawn it from 0 value 0. Now that didn't really work out as going to plans, but yeah, we didn't import the images. Good. So let's just import the images. Tile set mob 0 equals new image icon res mob.png. I think I just call it that. So .get image. Didn't I? Tile set mob I 0 new image icon res mob.png. Let's check the res folder. Refresh it. Mob. I wonder what's wrong. Maybe it's in the mob class. Let's just remove this actually, since we already have it in the screen method. Should spawn mobs actually. Let's just see if the mobs actually are spawning. We can always do debugging like this. We're just printing lines, hello, and this is basically my kind of type of debugging. Yeah, it's creating them. That's very good. But the second thing, why aren't they showing up? Why isn't they showing up? Maybe they can't find the value road or ground road. Set bounds to 10, 10, 100, 100. Just see if it's actually the for loop that's not working. Can't open it. Yeah, alright. It's a for loop that's not working. That's kind of cool. That's good to know actually, because is it because the generation is, or it's loading up the file after the actual thing, or after the creation? Yeah, cool. I think so, because it's like spawning the mobs before it have created the loaded up the road and stuff like that properly. Alright, so that we just fixed it. Now we got a mob there. Now we do want to set him in movement, and in order to, first of all, we basically want to know what position the mob is on. Right now, we should know just by our minds that it's on basically on x1, y2, but Java doesn't know that. So this is the easiest way to check it actually. Haven't tried it before, but pretty sure it will work. So let's do public int x equals, actually xc for the x coordinate. It's gonna be on, yeah, we'll see in a second. Yc, it will just, when it finds it here, it's just gonna go xc equals 0 always, and yc equals y. Alright. Let's just remove the hello since it's annoying. Alright. So, well, we got that. That's very good that we've got that right. I think we should have it right at least. We got the mob spawning, kind of. We're just gonna make a mob spawner. Mob spawner. Alright. Now you might think, how would we ever make a mob spawner? We can either create a new class or a new method. The easiest way would just be to create a new method, because I'm too lazy to create a new class right now. We're just have like full up here. So we're gonna do public void. I'm gonna call this mob spawner or something like that. Let's just go with mob spawner. And then we're gonna have some integers. So we're gonna have public int spawn time equals 1000, and then the spawn frame equals 0. Now this spawn frame is going to increment, and whenever it reaches 1000, it's just going to call the mob spawner. Now we got a for loop down here, or a game loop, which is not really working as of now. So what we basically want to do is set up the game loop so that it actually works. Actually, I think it's going to work. Yeah, cool. Alright, it's going to work. So if spawn frame is greater than or equal to spawn time, basically says if the spawn frame is greater than or equal to the spawn time. So if the spawn frame, which is 0, reaches the spawn time in the length, then it's going to do this. If not, it's just going to keep incrementing the spawn frame by 1. And whenever it does, it's just going to reset it. Spawn frame equals 0. And then I'm gonna do a for int I equals 0, I is less than mobs dot length I plus plus. And now we want to check for if the mobs I dot in game, if the mob is in game, the current mob that we're checking is in the game or is not in the game. We're just gonna spawn a new one for it. Dot spawn mob 0, and then we're also gonna break free from this loop. So what you're gonna see now is we're just gonna wait for a little while, and a second. Alright. Down here we're gonna do mob spawner, so we need to call the method as well, and we're gonna run it, and each like 1 second it will spawn a new one of these, or maybe 2 seconds. We might even increment this a little bit, 1600, but about 1.6 second it will take for a mob to spawn. Actually a little bit more, maybe the double the time. I'm entirely sure how it works when I'm doing the for loop like this, or the game loop like this, but it's definitely working at least. Alright, so what we want to do now is basically to get the mobs to move, of course. And each mob is going to have its own physics class, as you can see here. It's going to have its own like physics, like its own walking thing, and it's always going to be called from the game loop. So we're going to do a for int I equals 0, I is less than mobs dot length I plus plus. It's just going to be if mobs I dot in game. So if the mob is in game, then the mobs I dot physic will get called. Basically means we're calling the physics class for the mob. Now that one is in the game. Let's just do something simple. So if that happens, it's just going to be incremented by 1, the x coordinate. And you can see it's just like running over the screen like insane. So that's just awesome. We're also going to set the speed of this. So we're going to do public int walk frame and the walk speed, and I actually do this each time I want to set the speed of something. So the walk speed or the walk frame is going to be at 0, and the walk speed is going to be at don't know, 40. So if walk frame, same here, is greater than or equal to walk speed, what's going to happen is that x gets incremented by 1. But else, walk frame plus equals 1 and walk frame equals 0. So whenever we run this, I'm just gonna wait for him to spawn. Now we don't want them to like spawn inside each other, but yeah, maybe we should increment the spawn time to 2,400. Should be enough. Alright, that's kind of cool. No, 1,600. No, let's have them that slow. Just to, it's the first mob, you know. So, all right, mob greenie spawns mob greenies, and where do we spawn them? We spawn them in here. So value dot mob greenie, just to see it clearly, and then in here. Now we would want to do some checks. So we want to have a count for how long he have walked. So public int mob walk equals 0. But each step he basically takes is wait, we need direction as well. Public int direction equals, don't know yet, but public int left equals 0, right equals 1, can't walk left. Outward equals 0, downward equals 1, and left, right equals 2. And we want to set the default to walking towards the right. Right? Lol. What the hell? I just lost myself in a non-humorous joke. If direction equals right, he will of course walk to the right, and if that's not the case, then else if direction equals to upward, he's gonna walk upward, so y minus equals 1. And else if direction equals downward, he's gonna walk downward. Strange, huh? So plus equals 1. So that's just how it is, and he should walk by default to the right. Yep. But each time he walks, this is gonna be incremented by 1. So basically, mob walk plus equals 1, and it should be set to 0. Yep. And then if mob walk equals to screen dot block screen dot room dot block, yeah, block size, there we go. Then what's gonna happen is that it's gonna do another check. It's first of all gonna do if direction equals, just gonna copy this because we need this one more time. Then basically the x coordinate is gonna be incremented by 1. The y coordinate and 1 y coordinate. These are for the coordinates instead, for how the coordinates is gonna go. And then basically if, wait a second, I just need to think. If that's equal to that. Yeah. So basically, if the screen dot room dot block yc, first the y coordinate of these, and the xc dot ground id is equal to value dot ground road. Actually, this is going to be the y plus 1. Then direction equals downward. Let's actually see if this works, just real quick. Let's see. No, let's just see. Whoa! Someone just stomped straight into my room. Anyway, so we just got it didn't turn, which was kind of strange actually. But it should work. We could maybe print out the coordinates. I don't know. Yeah, we can, just to make sure that it's actually seeing something. Dot print ln, and then we're going for the yc plus yx or yc. There we go. And then we run this now. And we have a mob. Alright, so it's a 1 1. Still 1 1. Oh yeah, I forgot about resetting it. So then if this happens, mob walk is going to be equal to 0 as well. There we go, that should actually do that. Now we will get errors though if we have like the tiles going down at the bottom here. Why I hold down my mouse button, the position is strange. Oh yeah, it must be because oh yeah, but you could see here we're going out there, and then I got an error because you can't go out there. But in order to fix that, we can just do a try and catch exception E, and it will just catch all of the errors that's basically there. So catching the errors, and do the same thing for each one of those. We need to have 3 of them. So in order to get 3 of them, we're just gonna copy this. By the way, just to let you know that I'm lazy. Of course you knew I was lazy. No, I'm Tracy. Oh my god, didn't you know that? How many times do I have to tell you that I'm Tracy? Oh my god. Alright, anyway, so this is gonna check for the -1, and it's gonna be upward instead. And this is gonna be right. Alright, so whenever I run this now, the enemies should be able to do pathfinding. So they're walking in. We need to set some walking variables. Public boolean has upward means that he have done the upward part already, equals false. Public boolean has downward equals false. Public boolean has right equals false. No, we don't need the right since we're not gonna go left at any point. So now we don't want them to like go up and down, up and down. That was kind of funny. But first of all, we just want to do here instead. If it was right, has right. No, we don't. Oh, he said we don't need that. So has upward equals true, and has downward is gonna equal to true. Just like that. And is this the yeah? All right. So if has downward, if the has downward is equal to false, then it can't do the has downward. So if has upward, then you can't do the has upward. But it's basically depending on what the last block was. So, alright, 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 alright. Wait a second. We're setting a new direction someplace, right? Yeah, we're setting the new direction here. But then after this whole thing, we're just gonna reset all of them again. So has upward equals false, has downward equals false as well. So now we run this now, we shouldn't get any problems, no errors either. So this guy is just gonna walk through the labyrinth, hopefully. Yeah, look at that. That's actually kind of amazing. Alright, just look at that. That's a very nice pathfinding. And he shouldn't bug at any point. But we should also do a finish, a little goal thing over here. I'm gonna create a new block specified for that. Like a little something that you maybe wanna keep, something that you don't want them to destroy. Whoa. He can't walk that way. He can't walk that way. What a noob. Alright, that means we need the public boolean has left equals false. That we need it actually, because I didn't notice that they can walk backward. So left equals 3, and then has right equals true. I think I just spelled it wrong. Yeah, I did. Alright, so we got the has right set equal to true if that happens. And also else if direction equals left. Well, then what happens is that the YC, the XC plus minus equals 1, and the has left equals true, has left equals false, has right equals false, and also we need to add the if has left right. If has right. There we go. Downward should be upward, and has upward should be downward. There we go. That should do that actually. Hopefully it does work. I think so. Definitely hope so. But downward should be on downward, upward, and right. There we go. Just gonna copy this and wait. The direction is, yeah, if plus 1. But if it already had the right, if has left, has right, has downward, has upward. Alright. No. And this one should actually be set to has left. Alright, there we go. And then the direction should also be set on the left if the -1 equals. Alright. So what we want to do next is the else if just equals left, and do x minus equals 1. And this should work out. The pathfinding should work properly now. No. Oh my god. That's bad. It just goes here. It has right, has upward, has downward, has left. If it has left, if the direction was left, has left equals true. This one seems to be correct. But as long as the has downward, I need to think. As long as it didn't walk downwards before. Could maybe be upward. Yeah, alright, yeah. I was kinda right in the beginning. And right. Yeah, that's the way it should go. And then we will run it. Pathfinding should work properly. Come on. Eat. Come on, pathfinding, work. I beg you. Oh my god. Please. No, don't. Please. Yes. 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 Seems to work. Perfect. 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 Alright, the pathfinding seems to work. That's just perfect. Alright, so now when the pathfinding works, it's just perfect. The pathfinding seems to work now. And I'm just gonna let them go through the whole thing just to make sure that it actually works. Now when the pathfinding works, probably the last thing in this tutorial is to add some towers that can't shoot, and a goal so we can lose health, and yeah, that's that. And we'll just go from that. Maybe a delete tower button as well. So let's see what happens when they go through so that everything actually works. And there we go. It just gone through. Now it will bug. No, because we got the try and catches. Alright. That means that that part worked correctly at least. So what we want to do next is just add a finish to this actually. And the finish is going to be a 2 block. The 2 block isn't created yet, so we're just going to open up the tile set ground. This is how the finish is going to look. I'm just going to create it right now. Let Photoshop load a little. Normally buggy for some weird reason. Alright, Photoshop, perfect. Thank you, Photoshop, for joining me in. Right. So what this is gonna be is probably gonna be like maybe a water source of some sort, something like that. Maybe some diamond that we can steal. Maybe it's just like a barricade. Barricade seems logical. Just a little tower, little castle thing would be cool. Just because I'm too lazy to make this on the other layer where I want to have all the towers, I'm just gonna take the grass here, take it right there, make another layer, and I'm gonna go up like this. Basically gonna go a few steps up on each side. And then over like that. Go up a little here. Go up a little here. Do you guys enjoy? Never mind. That was a strange thing I did. It's basically gonna be like some sort of like small defense cave that you need to defend, I guess. Make it a little lighter in some places. Make this the doors actually on a, or the entrance actually on a new layer, so you can just like draw like insane. That just made it possible for me to draw even more insanely. This is just basically just gonna be a simple cave, nothing more than that, nothing like unusual. I'm gonna create an awesome looking cave here. Alright, little cave thing, kind of. Alright. Quick art. Hello, I'm the quick artist. What the hell? Shouldn't have said that. Need to stop swearing. Alright, that looks kinda good, I guess. Not the best I've made, but it's good for now. Good for the tutorial. I'm gonna merge all of the layers. I'm gonna do file and save. Go back in here and run it. We got a little cave there at the end. Now the cave. No, never mind. Let's just do this, and let's do 0 here. Whoa, that's Skype. I just regret that I did it on this thing instead. I'm gonna do it on the touch layer instead. Alright. File, open, tile set air. There we go. It's on the 0th slot. Let's get this perfectly aligned. Alright. That looks good. File, save. Alright, so whenever we run this now, it should give us it's not this. I think Eclipse misunderstood the whole thing. Oh, it seems to take over the whole thing. Seems like it thinks it's like grass. Oh, yeah, might actually be drawing grass. That's kind of cool. Then it's drawing from the wrong layer. Yeah, tile set ground. Tile set air. There we go. So that means this should work out. Yeah, we've got our awesome little housey house thing there. So now to the next thing. If we just want to check if they are actually in the little house, and how would we check that, you might think? Alright, how do we check this? We actually check this by, after checking all of these, if screen dot room dot block yc xc dot air ID equals to value dot air cave. Air cave. What happens then is that it will execute the delete mob command, which is going to be somewhere around here. So public void delete mob. Also public void lose health. Delete mob and lose health. So screen dot health minus equals 1, and this is actually built up so that we can, if this is a boss, we can just take more health. But in game it's going to be equal to false, and that's probably it actually. So that means we can just wait hang out here until it seems done, or until this is done, actually. Tower Bacon Alpha. Swedish is the most beautiful one. That's kind of cool. They just like walk, walk infinitely. Something in the way to get back home. No, it's actually homewards, I think. Never mind. I think the speed of them is actually very low. And you should remember that I told you, if I told you, that you can easily change the block size and make your own specified thing if you think the level is too small. Might even add some side scrolling features in the future. Alright, it seems to work. Now we just lose health and the mobs get deleted. Alright, and then we'll just keep doing that. We'll maybe even add an animation to them later on. So, alright, that's that part. That means that this actually kind of works. It works quite fine. And in order to, we're just gonna do this, and we're gonna have the, yeah, so loading up the shop. No, I'm not gonna do loading up the shop. I'm gonna do this myself instead. But we're gonna do a public static int, and we're gonna call it button ID equals new int and shop width. Alright, hope you got that. So we're basically getting the shop, we're taking the shop width into there, and now we want to decide what's in the shop. Actually gonna do it like this, the simple way. The shop width is shop width is 8. So I'm gonna have a 0 and 0, a 0, a 0, a 0, a 0, and 0. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there we go. This means that it's just gonna give us a lot of caves. Now we're not drawing any ID yet, so that's also what we want to do basically. And now the text, yeah, the text has got good color. And in order to kind of, wait a second, what am I saying? Yeah, in order to draw this, we're basically just gonna do g.draw image screen dot tile set air, and we're just gonna take these null, and we're also gonna do a public static int button in or item in equals maybe 4. This is basically how big the item border is gonna be. So, wait, what's wrong here? Button IDI. Button IDI? Cool. Plus item in plus item in minus item in times 2 and minus item in times 2. That should do that. We can just see a lot of these wonderful little things in here, and we're just gonna have a placement for these ones in this tutorial. We're just gonna add a few towers in this tutorial as well, just for fun. This is of course this end thing here, but whenever you click them, we should have, do we have the click method in here? No, we don't. Then let's create a click method. So public void click. and int button ID. Button. And so we're basically just getting the button. Why is the button called there? Or button there? Button click. Mouse button. Yeah, mouse button. Alright. And this is basically for what button is the left, right, or the mouse wheel. And if mouse button equals 0, that's the left mouse button. That's what we're gonna be using for this. We basically always want to call this, by the way. So mouse pressed, we're gonna do screen dot store dot click and e dot get button. Like that. That means we're getting the button for that. And in here, wait a second. No, that's actually it. So on the frame now, block now, something like that. We basically have the air ID is not equal to, what the F? I don't know where I am right now. Oh, yeah, go to the store. So if the mouse button is equal to 0, we're just gonna check so that it actually works. Hey bulldog. Never mind. Go to screen. Have I added it? Yes, I have. I should have. If I click, nothing happens. Add mouse listener, new key handle. And I also need to change the point. One of the mouses. There is something wrong with the mouse dragged. That should do that. So I'm trying to press it, but I don't get any reaction, so to say. It basically calls the screen. Can I make sure that it actually clicked? Hey. Yeah, it is clicked. And it should be calling that thing in the store. Oh, maybe it should be equal to 1. Yeah, it is. Alright, so the left button is 1. So that works. So we're gonna do for int I equals 0, I is less than button dot length, I plus plus, and if button I dot contains screen dot mse, then what we want to do is we want two different things. We want one integer called public static int held id equals 0 or just -1 for error, and then public boolean holds item equals false. Yeah, and then the size of it, of course, it's just going to be the same as the divorce. No, as the inventory size, or whatevs. But that should do that. And then the held ID should be equal to the button ID I, basically, and the holds item equals true. But first of all, if held ID equals to value dot air trash can, which we're also gonna have. We're gonna have like a trash can. Gonna have it right here. Public static int air trash can equals 60. No, let's just say 1. It's gonna delete your held ID and stuff. Held ID equals value dot air, and the holds item, which is actually going to be before that, just not getting errors, holds item equals false. Don't even need to set this to error actually. Holds item. There we go. And at the bottom of this, if holds item, if you're holding item, if it's holding an item, then g dot draw image, and it's going to be tile set screen dot tile set air held ID, going to be at screen dot MSE screen dot MSE, and now it comes to the width and the height of it, and we already have that right here. There's a null at the end. Plus item in, plus item in, and the points need to be .x and .y. Alright, that should do that. And we also want to add the width of it here. Basically, minus divided by 2. Why is there an error right there? Oh yeah, alright. So it just divides everything by 2, like that. Divides it by 2. It just takes minus that divided by 2, just like that. Alright. Let's just try this out now. Yeah, we can hold that. That's perfect. Now we can hold it, but we can't place it out yet, of course, but at least we can hold it. Isn't that a good thing? I think it is. And we can also delete it. Now we don't have like a trash can for it, but we're just gonna make some new things. Alright, so we got the first thing. I have a second thing, which is gonna be a trash can of sort. Now I want to try to make this real quick so that everything is done later. And if you don't like this part, I mean just drawing stuff, then you can skip through it. Yeah. It's some sort of recycle bin, I guess. And all the graphics in the game are probably going to be kind of simple. They're not going to be like really overpowered. It's not going to be like any HD kind of game. Of course, well, it's pixels, so kind of HD is just too far away. A simple, ugly-looking recycle bin. Just making it by the like dots now. just makes it look like hilarious, kind of. And then to see that it's actually a recycle bin, I'm just gonna add the last detail of it. I know these arrows like pointing around. Well, yeah, not much of a recycle bin, but I guess it's good enough. Yeah, I see. Hmm. Alright, that's a good recycle bin. Oh my god, that looks so bad. So, we got a recycle bin at least. It just made some sort of like red cross thing. And in here, we're gonna create the first tower just to have something to actually work with in the next tutorial. It's gonna be a fire or laser tower, like I used in the last tutorial of the tower defense game, the old tutorial series of it, when I used timers instead of game loop. Oh my god. Well, it worked too, of course, but the game's just a little bit more powerful when you don't use timers and you use this instead, when you use like threads and loops. Remember what I told you, you can still skip through this part, it's boring. Awkward silence. Oh my god. I just can't talk when I'm drawing sometimes. I'm just drawing this bad because I'm a little bit stressed actually. I'm just trying to finish many things at once, and I just want to get this series finished within 3 tutorial episodes if possible, so I can start up a new beginner series. Not like a new one, really, it's more like, yeah, it's a new one, but it's not like it's gonna be better because I missed a few things in the last one, so I'm sorry. Alright, cool. That's a tower. Doesn't really look like a tower, but I think it's good enough. That's what I normally say. It's good enough. Um, Alright. So we're gonna go with public static, and I might improve the graphics till you're back actually. Air laser, no, air tower laser equals 2. This store we want to go for value dot air tower laser value dot air. Oh my god, just missed copying that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Air trash can. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nothing wrong. That's only 7. Or is it the other way? So that I need another one of these? Oh, yeah, I see. We can't draw air. So, in this shop then, in this shop, if button ID I is not equal to value dot air air. There you go. That should be fixed. Looks like sort of cake. No, I don't want to get that thing. No, it just happened. Oh my god, I can't do anything more. I think something went wrong. I think something went very, very wrong. Something went terribly wrong. I think something went terribly, terribly, terribly wrong. Oh my god. Hold side M equals false. What the hell happened? I took this, and then I suddenly get a recycle pin. Oh my god. If held ID, oh, if held, if held ID, if button ID I oh, and you can't get air, of course. So if button ID I is not equal to value dot air air, alright, then we can take it up. We can trash it wherever, and we can. So yeah, that's kind of cool, I guess. Got some monsters going. They go walk to the finish, to the end of the level, then they disappear, they die, or they try to kill this my little cave that I want to defend. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna add some prices before I go. And then in the next tutorial, we're gonna focus on placing towers and shooting with the towers to kill enemies and prevent them from entering your cave. And then we'll just do some adjusting to the prices and stuff like that, just to make it a nice game. Yeah, cool. That should work out. Seems like everything works otherwise so far. You should be able to walk in here and do modifications to the map if you'd like to. You can do just like 0 here instead, have a 1 here. Now they should follow the path, so or they will follow the path. I don't even need to check. I'm 100% sure they do. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's just add some basic prices to the store. So how are we going to do this, you might think? You want to do public static int button price equals, no, here, look at this, 20 0 0 0 0 0, 5 zeros. That means we're just gonna have another 0, 6 7 8. Alright, laser tower costs 20. Now we don't have 20, so let's just drag it down to 10 for a while longer. And yeah, so basically want to g dot draw string if button price I is not or is greater than 0, then we want to do button price I get the x and the y coordinate of this, just like that, and the font should be set, if I'm not wrong. Okay, I was wrong unfortunately. We're gonna do g dot set color new color 255 255 255, and g dot set font new font courier new font dot bold, and still 14, just to get the size like the same on all different places and locations. And we also want to move that down like 10 parts, just because the Y is a little bit wrong. It's not like how it should be. So, and you do that. So plus 10. All right, look at that. Costs 10. Should actually not go to 10 like that. Should go like, we're gonna have visual as well. Visual. So we're gonna make a string instead. No, we're gonna do this instead. No, I'm just stupid. We wanna go back there. There you see, error. Let's say it's like dollars. Oh, $10 that will cost. That means that's kind of cool. I got a pricing for it as well, but it will start taking the price whenever you place them out. So that's kind of cool. All right, righty then. Yeah, so that's all for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this first tutorial in this episode of, or in this tutorial series of how to make your own tower defense games in Java, or how to make your own tower defense game in Java. So this tutorial we did a lot of stuff. In the next one and the final one, we're going to do some wait wait, what? We're gonna add towers so that you can place them out, and the towers can shoot and kill your enemies in order to gather more money. And then just adjust some prices in the shop, and then the game is done. And also a game over screen, of course, when the lives hit 0. Yeah, I guess so. Let's actually do the life thing right now. So, I'm gonna have a boolean here. Public static boolean is dead equals false. Actually, let's just do it like this. Right here at the run. And health is greater than 0. As you can see right there. Basically, if health is less than 1, g dot set color new color, we're going to do 40 20 20, nice reddish color probably, and then we're going to do g dot fill rect 0 0, my width, my height, and we should also add a g.set font new font 255 255 255. You guys should know how to do all this now. Font dot bold and 14. And we should also do a g dot draw string. Wait, what's that? Arc? String. Never seen the arc before. Cool. Game over. Game over. Unlucky. At 10. You can make this better game over screen if you'd like to. Just gonna test it out, and I'm gonna test it out by having the mob speed, walk speed to be a 1, no 0 even, and then this at the screen mob spawner time is gonna set to 0 as well. There we go. Game over. Unlucky. Should actually be plus 10. Oh yeah. Never mind. So that should work. There we go. Yeah, that's all. That's it for this tutorial actually. And in the next tutorial we are going to talk some about, yeah, as I said before, some placing towers and losing money, and that you can't build without money, and towers shooting towers so the towers can shoot enemies. And yeah, I think that's good. Maybe adding some more towers as well, and just doing some awesome looking images, some rotation maybe, if I feel for it. I might not, just because I'm lazy. I'm lazy and I hate rotation. Or I don't hate rotation. I think rotation is awesome. It just takes time. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this tutorial, and I will soon be back again with more of them. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.